been 5 years since the events that brought mankind to its knees. Modern conveniences are just a fading memory. I haven't eaten in 6 days. And this is the first place I've come upon with any chance of supplies. But who knows what monsters lie inside.
Alright guys, so that was a little bit about what I was thinking when I first rolled up on this place. It's kind of scary looking. It looks like it hasn't been lived in about 30 years, but it got me thinking, what if something happens in the world, things collapse, and a whole lot more places start looking like this one? What would I use as my survival vehicle? I have a Toyota truck, which would probably be an awesome platform and base to build a survival vehicle. But let me tell you why my Rad Rover might be an even better platform to start with. Next, let me start with the disclaimer that I am not a prepper, and also I have no survival training at all. So keep that in mind as you watch. This video is just for fun. But let me tell you why I think this Rad Rover might be a great survival platform to build upon. Right now mine's set up for around the town cruiser comfort, but you could easily dress this up with all kinds of survival goodies, I'm sure. So first I want to say a couple of the reasons why I think this might be better than a car for your survival needs. Number one is it's silent. You can travel undetected, and that might be a huge benefit if you're trying to escape zombies or whatever. So being able to travel silently I think is a huge plus. Any car or motorcycle is going to be very loud in comparison to this. Number two reason why it might be better than a car is actually you don't have to worry about traffic. You're not going to get traffic jammed in this baby. You can go around anything, and you can take this more places than a car. You can go trails, greenways, sidewalks, around whatever you need to get around. You come to a fence, you can lift this over the fence. You can take it through the middle of the woods. Can't really do that all the time with a car unless it's a really decked out survival vehicle. If you get to the point where you got to get out of Dodge fast and you waited too long and now the freeways and everything are just clogged up with traffic, you'll be good to go because you can go right around them. Number three reason better than a car, I'll say, is that it's easier to hide. Kind of goes along with traveling undetected. You can stash this under some branches or something and hide it way easier than you can your car. Next reason would be you have less to worry about breakdowns. If the motor stops working or the display stops working, it's just a bicycle and you just keep right on going. If your car breaks down, it's a little bit harder to fix, I'm sure. And the last one I'll say is you have the potential for some unlimited supply of fuel with this bike. If you're smart enough to rig it up with a solar panel and a charge controller where you can just charge that battery directly from the sun while you ride, don't have to worry about gasoline. Now, some of you are probably saying, why not just ride a regular mountain bike? You don't have to worry about any of the electronics or the batteries or any of that. Well, here's why I think it's better than a regular mountain bike. Number one is you're gonna have more range, more ground covered in a day because it's easier to pedal. So you can knock out a lot more miles in a day if you need to. Especially if you add a spare battery pack, you'll get twice the range. Number two is if you deck this thing out with all kinds of survival gear, it's gonna be heavy. So having the motor and the battery and everything is going to give you assistance to pedal and help you carry that load. You're going to tire out way quicker if you don't have an electric bike. Next, I'll say the fat tires. Having those 4-inch wide tires is a big plus. Going through really soft ground, mud, sand. I've driven this in really soft, squishy, wet ground, and I would have never gotten through it on a mountain bike with the skinny tires. These help me kind of float above it, and also the power from the motor helped me power through the mud. So I think it's beneficial on more terrain with the fat tires. And lastly, I'll say, and I think this is a big reason why you'd want an electric bike rather than just a regular mountain bike, and that's that not everybody is in peak physical condition. So take your physical condition into account. Maybe you're overweight, maybe you've got a heart problem, maybe you have knee injuries, maybe you're just really old, your body's worn out. So getting around on a fully loaded mountain bike might not be an option for you. Maybe you need the assistance from the motor to help you pedal and help keep up with your crew you're traveling with. Now, before the comment section gets too flooded with the negative comments about what it can't do, let me tell you some of the negatives that I did think of. Number one is that you can't take it in water. You can't cross a stream with it. You can't really be riding it in the rain and risk burning it out. So, number two is it offers no protection from people or zombies chasing you or the elements. You can't really sleep in this like you can your truck or your van or whatever other vehicle you've got, so that's a negative for sure. It is heavier than a regular mountain bike if you were trying to go that route. You're starting with, 70-pound bike as opposed to a 30-pound bike, so it is going to be kind of bulky. Another negative is you're limited on your speed. You're maxing out at about 25 miles an hour, so compared to a motorcycle or a car, it doesn't compare at all. You're going to be traveling way slower, so if you need to get away from something fast, that might be a problem. And the last one I'll say is recharge time. If you burn this battery down to its lowest level, you're probably going to take, if you're charging off the sun, maybe like 6 or 7 hours to charge it back up. If you do find power and charge it from a wall, maybe like 3 or 4. So you're going to have some downtime while you refuel. So you can't refuel as fast. You can always ride it as a regular bike, but you can't really ride and charge it at the same time. So there's a negative for you. So with all these things being said, maybe the best option would be to actually, have your bug out vehicle, truck, and have this in the back. That way, if you get to the point where you can't use that vehicle anymore and you need to be a little bit more mobile and go around some traffic and things, you've got this baby in the bed of the truck ready to go. All right, well that about does it, guys. Given the current state of the world, I just started thinking about that kind of stuff lately and how I would get out of town if I needed to. So wanted to make this video just for fun to maybe give you another thought. If you were planning on trying to make a escape vehicle or something, take a look at e-bikes. It might be a great option. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.